Kevin Durant has gotten a lot of attention in the last 24 hours since playing the Los Angeles Lakers. During the game yesterday, he was mic'd up, and there was this one statement that caught a lot of people's attention. I'm just going to read it out. So I remember seeing this live when he said this. He said this while being mic'd up. "We're not going to stop Doncic from scoring, bro. We can't come into a game and just stop their best players from scoring. We got to just make it tough on him. We can't give him 12 assists and 40 points, though." To be honest, I felt Kevin Durant was being truthful about this. He's very right about what he said about Doncic, that you're not going to stop a player like Doncic most of the time. He's one of those guys you can only hope to contain. I didn't see anything really controversial about it, but it did piss off a lot of people that he said that. A lot of people are saying that it sounded like Kevin Durant was defeated and that he had just given up on this game and the regular season. Now, all this can be true. I'm not going to say that it isn't true, but I didn't find it offensive. But I find it interesting now that Kevin Durant is getting a lot of attention for not winning ball games with the Phoenix Suns. When you look at his stats, he's averaging 26.6 points per game, 52% shooting from the field, 6.2 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.3 blocks, 0.8 steals. These are great numbers, to be honest. If you look across the board, you would say these are superstar numbers, even MVP caliber numbers when you look at them. And if you didn't know the player's name was Kevin Durant, you would be very happy with these numbers. Heck, if it was Kevin Durant, that the stat revealed it was him, those were his numbers, you still would be happy because these are really great numbers. They're up to par what Kevin Durant has done in the past. They're close to his career averages of 27.2 points per game and 50% overall from the field. So he's putting up pretty much his career numbers, but now everybody's criticizing Durant. And I have to say, it's funny now that people are starting to discover that when these older guys put up great numbers and they're not winning, that it's a sign that these numbers are really empty stat numbers. NBA defenses are not allowed to be great anymore. So even when you're past your prime, you can still put up great numbers that are similar to what you put in your prime, and people can be deceived that you're still a superstar when you're clearly not a superstar anymore. You can still be a high caliber player. I'm not denying that Kevin Durant is not a legit all-star anymore. He still is, I would say, but I wouldn't say he's like a tier 1 player. He's a top 5 player, an elite player in that regard. I wouldn't put him up there with Giannis, Jokic, SGA, Luka. Those guys are just on another level than him now. It's just the reality. But he's still a very good player. But I think people are under illusion when they look at these stats. They think these guys are still the players they once were 7, 8, 10 years ago. He's having an empty season, absolutely, because the Suns are not winning. If you're a great player, your stats have to reflect that to a large degree. I would say that's true, but it also has to be reflected in wins. And the Suns are just not winning games. Think about Kevin Durant, what he once was in OKC. I remember there was one season where I think Westbrook missed 20 or 30 games to start out the season. I think this is a season where Kevin Durant won his first MVP award, and OKC has some ridiculous record without Westbrook. I think they were something like 22-4, something insane like that. That catapulted Durant to win the MVP because people were seeing what he was doing was amazing without the help of without the help of Westbrook. And I would say now he's been playing with players like Booker, Beal, and if you had OKC Durant, I don't think this team would be losing. I don't think they would be losing at all. I think they would at least be above 500, a playoff team, maybe even a top 4 team in the West if you had prime Durant. But you don't have prime Durant anymore. If you watch some of these games, you could tell Durant does not have as quick of a first step he used to in the past where he could just get by guys. It was never like a super quick first step, but it was good enough that it gave him just enough quickness to get by guys. Combined with his length, it made him hard to guard. Now he doesn't really have that quick first step. He still has a great shot, which is allowing him to be efficient. He still knows how to pick his shot selection. He knows how to get the right shots up, so he's shooting a high degree percentage wise. But you can tell when watching the game he's no longer in his prime. He's not as good of a defender as he was in his prime. He's a decent defender, but he's no longer quick enough to stay in front of threes, hence why he plays the 4. But I don't think Durant should be criticized this much for not winning games. I just think people should be honest now and just say the truth, which is Kevin Durant is no longer a superstar. He's having empty stat seasons like LeBron James has had in the past, but for some reason, when LeBron had these empty stat seasons, no one took away the title of superstar away from him. Like, I look at his first year with the Lakers, where he was averaging 27.4 points per game on 51% shooting. He was averaging like over 8 rebounds and like 8 assists. And his Lakers, they didn't make it to the playoffs. They finished with a record of 37-45 for that year. Pathetic record. They missed the playoffs with the alleged superstar LeBron James. And let's fast forward to the 21-22 season where the Lakers won 33 games and they missed the playoffs. And during that season, LeBron was averaging 30.3 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, 8.2 rebounds, I believe, 6.2 assists. And no one really talked about it. They were just in awe of the stats, the number line, but not look at the reality, how LeBron could no longer play defense. Hence, one of the reasons why the Lakers were garbage that year, and that he was just stat padding to get his numbers to look good on paper, but he was no longer a superstar in my eyes back then. I thought he lost that status, but no one's willing to say that about LeBron. But it's funny how people are willing to say about Durant when he has an empty stat season where his team doesn't make it to the playoffs. I think this might be like the first time in a long time Durant put up great numbers where his team didn't make it to the playoffs. I can't recall the last time when that happened. Just it's been a long time since Kevin Durant missed the playoffs. I think last time he did it when he played a full season was the 2008-2009 season. He missed the playoffs another time, but that's when he was out for all of the 2019-2020 season with that Achilles tendon injury. But what I'm saying is that we should be more consistent about these guys, that we shouldn't hype up guys when they put up great numbers and they're not winning, because it goes hand in hand. If you're a great player, not only do you put up great numbers, but you also win games. I think that's one thing we should all pay close attention to. And I wish the media would do it, but I wish NBA fans would do it. NBA fans tend to be the dumbest fans, and they don't really factor in winning. They factor in stats more so over wins. And that's really the biggest issue, and why I think NBA fans tend to be the dumbest fans. But I just wanted to point that out, that Durant is now in the same boat as LeBron. He's not a superstar anymore. And neither is LeBron. Let's be honest. LeBron is not a superstar, but people are too scared to say that. And I'll say it in both cases. These guys benefit from the current era where they can still put up great numbers like they were in their primes, but it doesn't really reflect it when you watch the game. When you factor in the pace of the game, there's more possessions than before, so it allows their numbers to look the same from what they were 10 years ago. When in reality, they're in their primes. I know this is crazy, but if you had prime Durant, he would probably be getting 33, 34 points a game in this league. Prime LeBron, you would see it more on the defensive end, I would say, more than anything. And you don't see that. So I think it's very, very deceptive, and people fall for that. That's all I wanted to point out about this.